Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to create amazing cinematic title animations like this in Filmora. It's very simple to do, so let's get started. Alright, these are the project settings I use for this animation, so feel free to copy these settings. Then add the text layer to the timeline and make it 10 seconds long like this. Alright, then select the layer and go to the advanced settings. Here, you can change the text as you like. I type cinematic titles, change the font style to Sugo Pro Classic, and the font size to something like 56. Next, I add another text layer and change the text. For this, I use Made Out Sans Light as the font. Now let's adjust the character spacing. I'll set this to 10 and change the font size to 12. Or, let's adjust the character spacing to something like 5. Next, let's add animation to these text layers. Select both text layers and go to the Animation tab. I apply the quick single blur animation to this. Then go to the duration and change it to about 1.5 seconds. Alright, the text animation looks like this. Then I adjust these text layers like this. Once done, click Apply. Next, we need to change this text layer into a compound clip. Select the layer and press Alt+G to create a compound clip, naming it Text. Now we've completed the text part, so I bring this to the top like this and hide it for now. Next, let's create the background. Go to the stock media, select the color tab, pick this black color and add it to the timeline. Then go to color, select curves, and adjust the curve until it looks a bit brighter like this. Now we need to add our textures. Here, we have two texture overlays that you can download with the project file. First, I add texture 1 to the timeline. Then go to the settings to rotate it and adjust the position like this. We also need to reduce the sharp edges, so let's add a mask. I add a rectangle mask and adjust the mask accordingly. Next, I add the second texture to the timeline. Then copy the mask from the first texture layer and paste it onto the second texture layer like this. Now, I go to the settings and make slight changes to the rotation, position and scale. Alright, now let's duplicate the second texture layer. Hold the Alt key and drag the layer to get a duplicate, then adjust that layer like this. Now our texture looks like this. Then, select all these texture layers and change the blend mode to color dodge to give it a really cool look. So then I like to add another duplicate of this, so I add it like this. If you feel it's too much, select the duplicated layers and adjust their opacity. Finally, let's add an effect to this. I'm going to add a warp effect. First, let's add an adjustment layer. Then go to the Effects tab, search for the Edge Warp effect, and apply it to the adjustment layer. Then, go to the Effects settings, change the strength to 35 and the speed to 0. And it gives a nice warp look like this. Alright, the background is complete, so let's change this to a compound clip. Then unhide the text layer. Alright, then let's add the overlays to the background. First, I will add this smoke overlay. Then I will add this particle overlay. Alright, next let's blend this. So select these layers and change the blend mode to screen. Then select the particle layer and change the opacity to 45. Next, select the smoke layer and lower the opacity to 15. Then let's add a fade out effect to the end of the particle layer. For that, I'm going to use a transition. So I apply this dissolve transition to the layer and change the duration to 40 frames. Alright, after that, let's add some effects to the text layer. First, I'm going to add a zoom effect, so go to the start and create a keyframe on scale, and change the scale to something like 80. Then go to the end and change it to 110. Alright, next let's add some glow to the text. Go to the Effects tab and search for glow. Then I apply this glow color effect to the text layer. Then go to the effect settings, and you can simply copy my settings. Next, let's add the flare effect. For that, I'm going to use this overlay, so I add it to the timeline. Then go to the compositing and change the blend mode to screen. After that, let's adjust the position. After adjusting the position, the layer edges will appear like this. To fix that, you can add a mask like this. Alright, next let's animate the flare. Go to the start and create a keyframe on position. Then go to the end and adjust the position like this. Also, I'm going to add a fade-in effect at the beginning, so I add it like this. Alright guys, finally let's add a gradient color effect to this. First move these two layers to the top layer like this. Then add an adjustment layer. To create this gradient color effect, we're going to use this BCC color spot effect. I apply it to the adjustment layer. Then go to the effect settings. And here you can pick any color you want. I'm going with the default one. Then you can adjust the opacity as you like, so I change it to something like 60. And you can see it gives a nice look to our animation. Also, if you don't have this effect, I will show you how to make this without it. First, I hide this layer, then go to the stock media, and pick any color you want and add it to the timeline. Then go to the mask. Add the circle mask and change it to invert. Then you can adjust the mask like this. After that, go to the compositing and change the blend mode to overlay and adjust the opacity as needed. You can see it gives the same look to the animation, so you can use any method you prefer. So, that's how we can create an amazing cinematic title animation in Filmora. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're looking for more tutorials like this, you can simply join my channel. So guys, thanks for watching, and I see you in the next video.